Hi, welcome into my channel. This channel is about astronomy against the current view of the astronomy that the universe came from a big bang 13.7 billion years ago. So I discovered this is false. Okay, I have 43 years old. My name is the YouTube channel you see. From Romania, European Union. I'm selling like a tea science, coffee science. I always have here a tea or a coffee. This is a cold coffee with soluble coffee and milk. So this is my second video explaining to you light. You watch my previous video if you want. So if you contradict the Big Bang, you must speak about this stuff, because they have two proofs: the microwave background radiation and the Doppler. So so I started with transmission. You must understand how light looks. How light looks. If you see it like when they disconnect the power plant like this.
Фаза С, отключай! Отключена!
So you see that it resembles from a thundercloud, lightning from a thundercloud. So watch again. You see that it resembles lightning from a thundercloud. Watch thunderclouds. So you see there's a similar pattern in electricity and thundercloud. So that's electricity. What thunderclouds produce has light in it. It is light, pure light. It is not pure light. What is has supplementary? They are saying like electromagnetic waves. So they are pretending that these are the equation, Maxwell. But I've told you in my previous video, these are done on wires, and by already knowing the frequency, the modulation. So the science of electromagnetic science is wrong. So what I'm telling you is light an electromagnetic wave, because this is what they are saying, all of them, that it is a line like this, and you put a visible spectrum here, the colors of the rainbow, and ultraviolet, microwave radiation and radio. So this is what I want to tell you. The light is not electromagnetic. So watch this girl first.
Hi, I'm Emerald Robinson. In this What Is video, we're going to take a closer look at the electromagnetic spectrum. What we see as light is only a small part of the electromagnetic spectrum. The electromagnetic spectrum refers to the many types of radiation released from stars, including our own sun. Electromagnetic radiation travels in waves. Frequency describes how many waves per second a wavelength produces. Wavelength measures the length of an individual wave in meters. Scientists describe the electromagnetic spectrum as a long line. At one end lie radio waves, with the longest wavelengths and lowest frequencies in the spectrum. A single radio wave has the length of a football field. After radio waves come microwaves, which produce more energy due to shorter wavelengths and higher frequencies. Cell phones, radar, and microwave ovens use microwaves. Next comes infrared light. The sun, fire, living creatures, and other heat sources all produce infrared light. While we cannot see infrared light, we feel it as heat. Visible light occupies a narrow slice of the electromagnetic spectrum, nestled between infrared and ultraviolet light.
So this is the way I make the videos for you to see that they are telling like this. Okay, you can search hundreds of people that are saying on the YouTube science channels this stuff. Okay, so in my previous video I cut from Neil deGrasse Tyson and Professor Dave, another YouTube channel, and now from here I don't have anything with these guys. These guys are in my when I search on YouTube to show to you some examples. So they are believing that there is this line and they are confused. The light, it is not an electromagnetic wave. If you put a magnet here, it will attract this. I brought for you this firelight producing light, candle. We say in Romanian candle. With oil from all times serves a religious purposes. You put this at night. Like so it is an electromagnetic wave, how they are saying light. It is not. If you put a magnet here, you would attract the flame. It will not. So it is in only some circumstances an electromagnetic wave. So this is showing to you that they are speaking false science. If you see these thunder clouds, they are with electricity, and supplementary the electricity is made with magnetism. So they already combining the magnetism with electricity, and then they're saying that light it is this, but they are proceeding like this. Okay, so they are in error in many ways. So it is light electromagnetic field. It is not magnetic. First of all, it is electric always. What means electricity? If you put a solar panel here in a total dark room, will capture how much electric you can charge a battery from a fire. So this is a minimal electricity that it will have, but it will have light obligatory magnetic field. So you observe now the light is like in these lightnings. So let's see one more time because it's beautiful to watch. So you see the light, it is with the lightning, and the light is with these power plants, hydroelectric power plants. When they disconnect the wire, you see that there's the similar pattern of geometry. So look again, it's beautiful to watch, and you understand. So that's why I make my videos like this, for you to pause a little bit and to think about. And it is nice to see with the examples, okay? So it is clearly that this is how the electricity it is looking. When you disconnect the power plants, you see that it is like a lightning, okay? So, and in this case, it is electromagnetic. It is electromagnetic, but it is produced like this. So they are strict in their logic. It is called circularly reasoning, logical, circular logic. So you produce your power plant with the magnets, the electricity, with the river flowing, okay? So I put for you to understand these turbines. This maybe you know what a turbine is, but it's nice to see, okay? That's why I insert from different YouTube channel. So watch this. So you saw that what a hydropower plant it is like. Everybody maybe knows this. The water flows and it spins this stuff that has some wires, many wires like this, copper windings like this, and you have some magnets, 4 magnets at least like this, and in the middle something like a rod of iron rod like this teaspoon. It is from inoxidable iron, okay, in the middle with the copper windings and some magnets, and you already spin this stuff. So then you are saying that the light that you are receiving at your home, it is an electromagnetic wave, but you are making it like this. So you are saying that light is electromagnetically, but it is the simple disproof that the light is not magnetic. You put a magnet, it is not will not going to be attracted in this. Maybe if you have a neodymium magnet, the strongest one that we have at this current day, we invented by the Japanese to make that super electromagnetic trains, okay? So maybe it will attract, it will means that it implies some ionization in this, okay? Maybe it will be electromagnetic. So but this is the first mistake. They are taking some copper windings like this, many wires. So this is the way I explain it to you, because you see this girl and you watch my previous video. That's why I'm telling you the Big Bang is false, and I'm not patronizing you, but you understand that all the science is false. This James Clerk Maxwell science, electromagnetism is false. So it is a little bit what I'm telling you. It's a small thing, that electromagnetism is false science, that quantum mechanics is false science, Einstein's false science. It is a little so that's why you must watch. And it maybe seems simple to you how I explain to you, but it is the truth nonetheless. So they are taking these copper windings, they are putting some magnets and an iron rod like this electromotor, okay, and the water spins it. So you already have a magnetic field in the magnet in the turbine. You have some spinning rotation of the motor. You have some windings of the this. You have the iron, and then you transmit it, and you see what it is. Well, that's why I put for you this. It is like a thunder, like in a lightning in a thunderclap. You see it clear. You can't deny this, because you see this when they disconnect. It is like a lightning. So now you are sure that it is electromagnetic wave, but you are producing it like this. So what it is? It is electricity, the electron, the light. It is, you see light, the light in natural form appears in lightning, like always in the lightning, and in fire. 2 cases. In one case is connected with temperature only, and in one case with the electron, how you are saying, or the electricity. And I'm telling you that the electron from the chemistry is not the electron, this electron from so light is not electromagnetic necessarily. This is what I want to tell you. It is constructed to be like this. You already spin that stuff with a frequency. You have some motor, you spin with this frequency. You have some magnets, and you produce it like this, and then you say that it is like this, and this is their mistake. And you see that they are making it. Watch another guy saying like electromagnetic line.
Oscillating charges produce oscillating magnetic field and electric field. As a result of this, electromagnetic waves are produced. For example, consider this wave motion. Electric field E oscillates in Y direction, while the magnetic field B oscillates in X direction. As a result of this perpendicular oscillation of electric and magnetic field, electromagnetic waves are produced in Z direction. Remember that the oscillation of electric field and magnetic field are perpendicular or at 90 degrees, are also commonly known as electromagnetic spectrum. Now here you should also learn that why electromagnetic waves are called transverse waves.
So you see, that's why I'm telling you there's full internet, and this is what it is the basis of the Doppler shift. They say that if you go with an object from the distance and you go further and further, becomes red, but not understanding this stuff. And that's why I must explain to you. So light is not necessarily an electromagnetic field, and this is, I know that it's somehow shocking. They are lying to you with these inventions where I'm filming with, or they are attributing that they are making that with formulas like this. But the formulas are false, and they are producing them in government like projects with big monies and big stuff like this, and they are keeping you in the school and lying to you with formulas, but they are proceeding in other ways. To construct this, you have to have from the government big money and big stuff to be to have money, and then they are lying to you in the schools that it's the electromagnetic fields, that's the electron, and none in the days where they are making it and discover it, they do not have the formulas, they do not have the names, the electrons. These were employed afterwards to lie to you, and somehow being in a coherent, logical, mathematical way arranged. This means that you can move from a right part beyond the equal sign something. You multiply, you put divide sign, minus sign, some rules, okay? So there is some logic, mathematics, and they are tricking you inside the logic, mathematical, but they are proceeding with the governments in another manner when produce these power plants. And they are tricking you that this because, and this is a little bit what I'm telling you, okay? So you are believing that you are stupid, but my fight was for you to understand that the Big Bang is false and the Doppler shift is false. The light does not make red on the distance, and but I wanted to explain to you, okay? And when I discovered the Big Bang is false, all of this when I discovered this, I had to think about this stuff, okay? So that's why in the process I discovered the quantum mechanics is false, Einstein physics is false, even Newton physics is not what you are believing. They are identifying the kinetic energy with electricity, Einstein even, and this is made by Leibniz. The equation kinetic energy 1.5 mass time velocity square, it is not electricity, it's a movement energy like heating energy, mass time velocity square, made by Leibniz on mechanical movement, okay? So what they are saying, all these phenomena that move with the speed of light, they are calling electromagnetic waves, and they are mistaken somehow. They are mistaken, they do not know what they are. They do not know what they are. This is how they are naming them, and then they are saying that they sit in that line. And I've told my previous video, the colors are infinite. The colors spectrum of visible light are infinite. They are tones, and you modulate the frequency tones, and in a mathematical way you can have infinite geometries. So let's suppose now how something can walk from a point to a point. Why they are tricked themselves? Because they are creating this to make thick frequency from the radio. When Hertz observed that a spark jumps from a break wire like this, it produces electromagnetic wave, how they were defining it, like this.
A spark jumps across the gap between two live wires. It emits electromagnetic radiation. This causes a second spark in the receiver. The radiation spreads out in all directions, like light waves. This phenomenon was at the heart of Hertz's research.
So after they watch this, you see that spark resembles the electricity from these disconnecting wires. Watch again.
Telefunken was another success story. The Germans demanded the opening up of the airwaves on all frequencies, a goal they achieved at international conferences on the subject.
So you watch this spark, okay? This spark, it is a small lightning. But this spark, when jumps from a wire to another, like you have to break wire like this, okay? Like I've showed to you. When it jumps, it produces a wave in the air. So now this wave, it is an electromagnetic wave, has some magnetic energy or electric energy. If you capture this, you can charge a battery with it. What is the relation? So you emit this spark and you charge your phone from the distance, let's say. Okay, so it is, but it is these equations, and I'm telling you that no. Maxwell equations were made in a cable, and it is a little bit anterior the Hertz. So Hertz is right after this guy. So Hertz that observed this spark. So the mechanics of the movement of the waves in air, they are not done by Maxwell. And Max is wrong physics, like circular thinking, because I've told you, you have some mechanical movement in an apparatus like this with wires and magnets and with iron core, and spin it with a frequency you produce a frequency already. So then you are saying that with this intensity field, electric field, you define already in the cable, it produces an intensity magnetic field like this, and if the energy will flow like this, the field will be this big, okay? So these guys are believing that Maxwell connected the entire reality of the electron with the magnet. So, but they do not know there is a magnet, electron, and a like a particle of magnet. They do not know, and this is why you must understand. At least this is not for wireless propagation of electromagnetic waves. You understand? So it is through a wire. And their engineering done like he already had some wires and a thickness and a frequency modulation, and he inferred this stuff, okay? So now they are believing that he united the entire reality of magnetism with electromagnetic. You understand? That's why I brought to you this. This is light, but it's not magnetic, but it has energy in it. So if you put a small solar panel, you turn out the lights in the deepest, darkest room that you have, to see how much electricity you pull out with a small solar panel from this kind of producing light with fire. Like, you are believing that this covers Maxwell's equations? It does not. So it does not. So what is the electric field when you capture in a solar panel from a flame? You go when a forest burns to the ground, like the Canada fires were like this.
There are 110 active fires in Quebec. Almost 1,200 people from Cree communities across the northern part of the province have fled their homes due to wildfires and smoke.
So like a joke, and you go, poor guys, but God made that, okay? They they do not want to collect the timber, so the God must have some mechanism to put carbon in that atmosphere, but because they are lying, okay? So the old trees must go and the new one. So this fire, but like a joke, you go this like this forest fire, like Canada, current Canada fire, that the smoke was in New York smelled, okay? So you go on this fire and you put in your solar panel. You produce light. Let's say that the sun is not, like in darkness, and you go and you see what is the energy in the light coming from a fire. So, but you are really believing that Maxwell covers this? So the flow of light from a fire into your solar panel is covered by this, but it is not. So you understand the electromagnetic science is false science. It's false science. So it is not even covering the flow through a wire, and it is done like engineering manner, in a controlled manner. Maxwell worked with some bobbins he had. You can see pictures on internet. He had some bobbins like this, some transformers, some motors. He produced like with mechanical movement, electricity, and from this apparatus he inferred this law. So if you now put a wire made from aluminium, if you put a wire made from steel, if you put a wire made from other metals in the Mendeleev, you really believe that is covered this? This does not. So they are proceeding, this is what I'm telling you, they are proceeding in another manner, and you'll keep you at the schools and your colleges and your faculties, how they are named in Europe, colleges in America, okay? And doctorates and PhDs with this false physics, they break your head, and in the reality they are proceeding with the governmental procedures, with government money, so like this. So because you do not have this kind of power, logistic power, to put some in movement, this kind of mechanisms, these big constructions, pouring concrete, that you have a river, they do not allow you to make like this, to have your own river, and to make some, you saw these turbines, like, let me show to you again, like this, some schemes. So you see these turbines, this is the way I make my video. You see that interrupt you understand. This so the logic of my videos. So do you have this big capacity to produce an engine with wirings like this chamber big, like a block big? You do not have. You must require some from the government, from some license, some like this approvals, okay? So that's why then they're tricking you with the electron stuff. The electron, they know the electron flow, and I'm telling you in a sincere manner. You understand that in their schools, like let's see a school from an Arab country.
There is only one like it in the world.
Hello!
It's so unique that 10 years ago, someone tried to burn it to the ground.
So these schools, they're keeping them at a school, and they are believing they are stupid, because an honest mind cannot learn false science. Cannot learn false science. This is false science. So they are keeping in the school, they are teaching them mechanics on the angle, Newton forces, that's stupid. All of them are stupid at all level. The science is stupid, 90%. And they're destroying the life, they're keeping them in prison, and they are proceeding in this manner.
I am here in Israel, a country with many problems. One of them is the school system. It's divided. It has different types of schools. Schools for religious Jews, schools for non-religious Jews, and schools for Arabs. I went to an Arab school, which means 100% of my classmates were Arab. I didn't have a single Jewish friend.
So you understand, this is my fight. So you do not have money to produce this wire. Imagine how much money are in, to make copper wiring, like to make a motor, like a chamber big, and then to put the concrete to have, you understand. So then they are linked with an electromagnetic fields like that I put for you to these two guys. And this is full science. This is full science, okay?
When we say radiation, it's like light bulbs radiate, the sun radiates. So when we say radiation of RF, it's a very low frequency compared to like X-rays and nuclear stuff that you're worried about. So you're talking about a thing where it's more about heating tissues than it is about getting some kind of cancers and things like that. There's just no evidence that I've ever seen collected that says that frequencies like we use on this tower would cause those kind of things.
So I'm telling you in a correct manner, okay? So they are making this, like this motor was invented, Faraday observed, like in these years. Michael Faraday observed Volta make the battery, and Harry Hertz observed that spark that I showed you. And Michael Faraday was the first who observed how to produce currents with some spinning stuff. So you have some magnets and some wirings, and you make a big motors. And then you put like for you there's to be spinning about it. The water flows nonetheless, and it spins your stuff. And then you are like we know this by the electron. Is that electron that it flows through a wire? This is what I'm telling you. And with this with these inventions, like where I'm filming like this, they are giving you the impression that they are controlling this, the image, the light, and they are know how they are from physics. But these were inventions. Somebody invented a paper, like you put some chemical on the paper, and you expose it, and it capture a picture. Some chemicals. From my mistake, they spilled like you spill some coffee on a paper, and then you put it outside, and it was taking a picture. So then they are saying that it comes from Harry Hertz or from quantum mechanics, Einstein physics, Newton, from where? Because somebody spill out some chemicals on a paper and let it, and then they understood that if you make a box, like a wooden box, and you put the paper inside the box, and you concentrate, like with a lens, your glass lens, you take a glass and you make it like a round, and you cut a glass and you concentrate it on this paper, you produce better quality image. And then they were wondering what happens if you make many pictures in a row. And this is how the film was invented. First was the black and white movie, okay? So they put 30 pictures per second. So you take 30 pictures and you put it in a row. This is the movie. So then in 56, I'm telling you real stuff. This is the real stuff. Not this quantum mechanics. I'm telling you it's false physics. So this is a small thing for you to understand. Einstein physics is like gibberish. It is a small thing for you, this video. I'm telling you that you are tricked, okay? Maxwell is wrong physics, quantum mechanics is wrong physics, even even this, because Leibniz made the mechanical movement was made by two guys in the same period, Newton and Leibniz. Leibniz with kinetic energy, mass time velocity squared, and that Newton with force equal mass time acceleration. Being two equations for mechanical movement proves that the physics of mechanics, simple mechanics of a point body mass through air is false also. So it is a more thing to you for you to understand, but it seems stupid how I explain it to you, but it's true nonetheless. So then they wanted to put many pictures white in the road, 30, 100 per second, many the better, okay, 100. You cannot see with your eyes the difference at some moment, okay, but so in the 1956 some guys invented the color stuff, because first chemicals were capturing only white and black, and this is telling you that they do not know what colors are. I'm telling you because they invented this with what you are watching or what you are filming. I explained to you how this appeared, okay? You see I have on this table white and black, they're colors. And then they are putting in electromagnetic spectrum that light, stupid light with frequencies of, they are not putting white and black, but they are colors. But they are colors, okay? So there's some frequency, energetic frequency that may look white. White is the color. It's not in the rainbow. It is not, and it is not. They are saying like a white color, but we do not see the light. We do not see the light on an object. You cannot see the luminosity, and it is not white in the room. You see at a distance color. You do not see like the color flowing like a river from this into my eyes. You see at distance, so there's some of the vibration at the distance with your eyes. So white is this, but it is a color, and black. Okay, so that chemical compounds reacted only with white and black. So, but then they were finding in this late even 1956. You understand, when they discovered the color videotape. The color videotape, 1956 only. So do you understood, if you make some chemical compounds like this, you put it on the paper, you put it in that chamber box, and you put light, you'll catch a color image. And now you put many in a row, 100, and then they were observing how you can read this. So you take this tape, you put it on a motor, temporal motor, like you see that it is spinning. If you know the audio tapes or the old video tapes, if you have under 30, maybe you do not know these videotapes, or you heard of them, okay, but you do not knew there was a motor inside programmed to move with a constant speed, and the pictures were in the row in the videotape like this, 1, 2, 3. So they found a method how to read that. So there was like a night watching the 30 picture on a second. So then there were some mechanism to display them, to project them with light. You pass light through this videotape and you project them with an electron tube. If you know the TV, it works like this. With electric energy, you make this tube to shoot electrons in a frequency. If you connect with my previous video, you understand much more, okay? So then they make it like this. They improve on this. Now they do not want it to have a motor inside, and they found different methods to write the pictures like this. If you know the CD, like this. But this is like the tape or videotape put like this, round manner. So it seems to you simple, but I'm telling you the truth nonetheless. Okay. So maybe this is simple, but I'm teaching you real history, real science, and they're lying to you in the schools with their movement on alpha angle, like this rock moves in an alpha angle with that formulas. X, Y, Z formulas, and they are taking 12 years from your life, and then they do not pass you, and you go to colleges, and they do not, and they put engineers who they want. And I didn't want to make this, but I want to tell you that the Big Bang is false science. Lies made for suckers. They are going to take their jobs, the engineer functions, and this, like, they pass who they want, and then they find some stupid people like like believers like you, and they show the spectrum line. You see this frequency, this is microwave, this is what I want to tell you, that is stupid. Okay, so then they put a magnetic wave of reading, that was imprinted electromagnetic on some tape that was capable to receive a picture. So now you read it, electromagnetic, you read it. Okay, so now they put the whole tape, the video tape, like you could have 2 hours video, or like this is how they was making them. Okay, that's why the movie had 1 hour and a half, 2 hours. You could have two for 3 hour movies in 2 parts. That's why it was making them standard to fit that videotape. So now they invented a method. This is proceeds in the same manner. So you take the videotape and you put it like this. So you read it. So you see, if you understand this process, nothing came from science, from this stuff. This stuff is lies for you suckers to keep you at schools, to give you passing grades, to like this Hertz spark. You saw this spark. This is the science, and they are lying to you. Let's see again.
This is a Marconi spark gap transmitter from the early days of radio, and the way this worked essentially is that it's a big step-up transformer, and the telegraph key is a switch that turned it on and off. So when you close the contact with the telegraph key, a spark jumps across the gap between these 2 electrodes over here, like this. And this would also be hooked up to an antenna, so that would be spewing out radio waves across a broad spectrum of the radio frequency.
You see this spark. Okay, this spark is radio. This spark is the cellular phone. This spark is everything. This simple spark is everything. Hertz observed that if you have some electricity, you do not know what it is, and they do not knew that is the electron. This was lies, like in Feynman, the physics guy, tricks to tell you that now somehow they know what is the capacity of the electricity of the smallest part of the, like a shooting from the TV. They were saying electrons in a tube to produce. Okay, so they make a copy of many pictures in the row. Okay, so now it is a frequency. It's a identical frequency, and you can transmit it to a wire through electricity, and then or wireless, and then you capture this and you convert it back in these signals, and the computer does not produce by a manner of calculating. Like, there are different ways of showing to you pictures. So the biggest part that calculates something in the computer, it is that calculator. that's more complex than the entire computer. So that calculator that calculates in your computer it is a stupid thing. You can have a pocket calculator, but that's programming. That's real programming. All the computer, 90% of it proceeds like this. He reads from some subscribe pictures and display to you in a logical function on your screen. So you understand, nothing came from science. They're only lying to you, and that's why I'm telling you, for you to understand. And I don't have any other path how to tell you this, okay, to explain to you that we're lying. Okay, Because the formulas are wrong formulas. Einstein E equal mc square is a stupid formula. Doesn't make anything. So if you say that somebody calculated you cannot surpass the speed of light, why? They are telling you like children's stories, and you do not believe this. They learn one from another and tell you like this: you cannot surpass the speed of light with a mass object because you need infinite energy. What energy? Electric energy or kinetic energy of movement energy? If some of you are professor, you understand kinetic energy is impact energy. And a dynamo, kinetic energy, it is what force has per volume to push a mass body. Okay, so by trying to make electricity from kinetic energy is like I've told you, putting a turbine in a blast of explosion to see what is the relation between kinetic energy and mass. So this is how stupid Einstein was. You not believe, because everybody says Einstein bent space, Einstein bent his time, Einstein made everything. But I'm telling you, so this is not this is for stupid people at schools, so they could pass who they want. Okay, so the most complicated thing in the computer is the calculator that calculates. That's real programming. like mathematical programming. So there are some geometrical function for the display, okay, but the rest of them, they are preceding by reading. The hard drive on your it is register pictures, and they are displaying in some temporal order. So there's a temporal functions, mathematical temporal functions. This is the computer, and it reads pictures and displays pictures because not processing anything in a real manner. It is not processing that you are believing. It is processing only when computes that 2 + 2 = 3. That is, but how stupid was, if you remember, that was the pocket computer calculators like this small. To how fast you can compute that. Okay. So now, what is light? It is magnetic. It is not. I proved to you. That's why I brought this. You put a magnet here, you will see. If you take a neodymium magnet and you put the strongest one that Japanese made, okay. So they invented like by testing. They combine iron. They knew that was magnetic, and you put 2 other elements, and you make like a finer dust. It's not like a solid, like a metallic thing. It is like a dust, and they made it. They observed, and you understand how powerful it is, because if you have a normal magnet, you cannot see that all the Mendeleev atoms have magnetic properties. All the Mendeleev atoms. The atoms in Mendeleev are broken in 2 parts. Half of them are magnetic, so they attract the magnet, and 20% of them, like gold, silver, are anti-magnetic. Bismuth, they reject the magnet. If you didn't know this even, but they do not observe this until the powerful magnets, like neodymium magnets. So if you put a piece of gold, like this small gold, you reject it with neodymium magnet, anti-magnet, and silver, and few others, and bismuth is strong like this. So it rejects all the poles. North pole is the south pole, rejects the magnetism. So if you take the minus plus sign on a magnet, the gold and silver rejects it. Okay, so they even did not knew this. So now what light is? It is magnetic. All the metals, you see that they are tricking you. So all the metals have electromagnetic properties. If you electroshock gold, it makes that it flows the electricity through gold and silver. But why it rejects the magnet? So it is anti-magnet. So how then Maxwell unified the electromagnetic field with what? Because you see that it is rejecting silver and gold. Look.
Silver, on the other hand, is repelled by the magnet. It doesn't matter which pole of the magnet I use, since silver is diamagnetic and will always repel an external magnetic field. "24-karat gold is still diamagnetic and repelled by a magnet, even with only 1 gram of it. It isn't exactly a powerful reaction. Diamagnetism is always weak, and bismuth, for example, is still 10 times as diamagnetic as gold."
So you see that, if Maxwell made the electric field united with the magnet field, electromagnetism, and they united with a strong force, atomic force, and this is stupid science, like, if you understand. This is stupid science. The atomic physics is false science, like quarks, up, down, quark, there's crazy science. So it's a small thing for you to understand, a big video, but I demolished the entire science. Okay, so where is gold in this equation? If you put gold in some processor, even inside in a computer, there's some pieces that function with gold. Okay, it is very good for electricity. It passes electricity, but it did not let the magnetic field through. So how electromagnet is Maxwell united? If 20 atoms from the Mendeleev reject the electromagnetic field, so where in the equation is electromagnetic field makes a magnetic field like this? So you understand this false science. They're teaching you to take the job, and you understand the level of all the professors on the globe at this hour. Okay, so electromagnetism is nothing. Nobody united the electricity with magnetism, and they do not know what magnetism is. They do not know. So now to pretend that you know how to modulate the fields of magnetic fields, like a pure mass, how we produce a magnet, to pretend that only iron makes this, or things like this. So there could be a planet with a core with gold core or some of these metals that reject the magnetism, and to be pushed by a magnetic field. You understand that the correlating the mass with gravity is wrong. The force of Newton or acceleration is wrong. They do not know why the planets spin. You understand that? I'm telling you that all the science is false. But this is simple how. But I can't lie to you. Look, this is the formula. Kinetic energy is 1.5 mass time velocity and the speed of light. Okay? So now they are saying that you cannot accelerate. Why? If you have a body, you cannot accelerate beyond the speed of light. Why? So they calculated that the light has 300,000 kilometers per second. I don't know in miles. Okay, 100 and something miles. American 1.6 kilometers. No, maybe. So the velocity 300,000 kilometers per second. If you put in kinetic energy here, it shows you nothing. So now indirectly they calculated that all the phenomenon that they are saying, that a light phenomenon, magnetic phenomenon, I've told you that they do not have only electricity, they do not have magnetism, or they don't know what magnetism is. Okay, so let me calm a little bit, and for you to watch this first radio Marconi first radio transmission.
So we're now going to key the spark gap so you can have a good look at it, and here we go. So these were about 500 watts, and they went out of favor, of course, when the vacuum tubes came out, but they were so unreliable that the ships always kept their old spark gap transmitters because they were so simple and reliable and always worked. So there you have it. There's my version of a spark gap transmitter.
So after you watch that, you understand they did it like this. And watch what Marconi says. Marconi invented, he made the first transmission, he invented the antenna somehow. He take this Hertz stuff, he took this Hertz simple spark stuff. I let you see it again.
A spark jumps across the gap between two live wires. It emits electromagnetic radiation. This causes a second spark in the receiver. The radiation spreads out in all directions, like light waves. This phenomenon was at the heart of Hertz's research.
So it is like a funny thing, but this is to keep in mind that this is how the science looks, and they are lying to you, okay? And it is for me like a fight against this background microwave radiation, a Big Bang, 13 billion years, to prove to you that the stars are small and cold and close. But you must understand what light is. Light diminishes with distance. And you cannot see only one day with the speed of light. You cannot put in a mirror or a telescope only one day with the speed of light. So you hear this, what Marconi says.
When Vatican radio was inaugurated, the Pope asked Marconi how it worked. He replied, "Your Holiness must have a better idea than I. You are nearer to God. I don't know the answer."
So when was asked, how it does work? But he invented it. You must understand this. He invented the antenna. He took the wires and he made the spark. He know that the electricity flows and makes this spark that you see that resembles the lightning. So I showed you. So he propagated at the distance, capture it. But when what was asked, he said he did not knew. But this lying stuff already existed. Maxwell existed prior. Hertz was after Maxwell even. After a little bit. So even though it was an honest man, he says he did not knew. If you heard that, he took some wires, copper wires. He had money. You see that he said that he constructed 1 year. He took him. So he says 1 year to put this stuff. You do not understand how much money you need to put big quantities of energy. You cannot make them from like your sockets from your home, like electric sockets from your home. Okay. You cannot make this. I let you see this stuff to see how big it is when you transmit radio.
The German broadcasting station at Nauen was for a short while the biggest in the world. Installations like this one from the 1930s were well suited to radio transmissions. Unlike Morse signals, speech and music transmissions involve complicated waveforms, and these must somehow be added to the basic carrier wave.
So you see another one from a modern time, how big a chamber where transmit radio is.
So we're back at the 1,100-foot super tower in St. Louis, and you guys had a lot of questions last time. For instance, this is a megawatt tower, but what does that actually mean? There's a lot of comments about ERP and things like that, so we're going to get to all those questions and explore this tower in a bit more detail and talk about some of the cool things that we missed in the last video. Here on the Geerling Engineering channel with Joe, and I'm Jeff, his son. And let's get started.
So if you saw that how do you pass water through copper tubes? These are containing the electricity. This is how much electricity you need to modulate voice, to transmit it through the air. Okay.
The radiated power is equivalent to 1 megawatt, but the actual RF energy piped up would be less.
So you do not have this money, and they are tricking you. So they are tricking you. That's the frequency. Stable light does not have any frequency. I've told you my previous. It does not have. It is a constructed wave always. Does not have. So if it does not have a frequency, how it shapes something that does not have? Becomes red, but it's not have a certain frequency, only modulated to be. You understand? They are lying big time, okay? So this is how I made my videos. Let's take a moment, or respiro moment. Let me drink a little bit of this coffee. Okay, so they are proceeding with this stuff, engineering type of science, you see, and they are lying to you with formulas. I will explain to you that the frequency, the electron is false. It is false. The concept of the electron even is false, and so so I've told you what big time is this current day science, okay? So they were proceeding this manner from the beginning, okay? He had 1 year and he made this many windings. He had antennas like 10 meters antenna, 30 meters antenna. You do not understand how big is an antenna that transmits in current day radio. Watch this antenna, like 300-meter antenna.
So we're back at the 1,100-foot super tower in St. Louis, and you guys had a lot of questions last time. For instance, this is a megawatt tower, but what does that actually mean?
You see, this is an antenna, radio antenna, actual day, current day antenna. You see, you do not have this stuff. You do not have how to have this much iron too. But you see stupid, like I'm telling you like this. You do not have the money necessarily to buy this iron and to make this big antenna, 300 meters of iron. You can weld it. By the way, the weld proceeds, you see, like lightning. The weld is like a radio, but you do not modulate it. So you must speak into the spark from the welding somehow, and you can produce a radio. A radio, a radio transmission, you can produce it whenever you can produce a spark, if you understand. Or okay, so this is the way how science is, and I show to you again another guy that makes this circle between these things.
So we're now going to key the spark gap so you can have a good look at it, and here we go.
And now you must understand that what this guy says. He says that you must add the voice to the carrier wave. So there's a wave, and in it you must add your voice or a TV signal or images. Okay, so what is here? What he says.
The German broadcasting station at Nauen was for a short while the biggest in the world. Installations like this one from the 1930s were well suited to radio transmissions. Unlike Morse signals, speech and music transmissions involve complicated waveforms, and these must somehow be added to the basic carrier wave.
So you see he says somehow you must add a voice in the carrier wave. And I've told you in my previous video, you simply speak into a wire. The wire transmits your voice, exactly copy your voice, because the voice proceeds with basic tones A, E, O, and their frequency modulation. This is in all languages, Chinese language, in all the language on earth proceed like this. We modulate like a tunnel of like a flower. You imagine like A being like a flower, tone, and all the language has this basic tones, okay? But each people has a different way of producing this flower. So this is even unreducible. So because different people produce the atone in different ways. It is an atone, but it's different flower atone. So you understand, like a female says or a male male or different females, or okay, so different kind of producing this flower. So imagine now this flower of the voice is a complicated tunnel of a tone. I showed you in my previous video exactly like a tunnel sculpted. It is not like this frequency. So this is how they are wrong. They are saying that this light is like this. But if this light is stupid like this, you cannot copy even voice, because voice is three-dimensional. It's a three-dimensional like you imagine more this like when you sculpt something. You take a piece of wood and you sculpt it. It is not a frequency that is stupid. It's a three-dimensional flower of voice. So there are different tones in each language. Chinese speak like this, French speak like this with different tone. And different people have different ways of producing this flower of tone. And it is not a simple way flower, like it is a complicated tunnel of and you sculpt this. And there are different manners to sculpt it. This is frequency modulations. And what it is a frequency modulation? Constants. R, O, U, O, E, O, U, like in all the languages, are basic tones. You cannot sing only on this. You cannot make long consonant like tss, but it is the vocal like long. B, k, is the like this the tone, okay? There are many, but there are many, not only 5 or okay. But and you sculpt this. Every language produces like this. So you sculpt like a wood, a flower of voice. You sculpt it with consonants, and the consonant can be put prior to you emit the tone and after it. So like I've showed to you in my previous video, tsi, qui, bi, you see, or after. Ik, ir, it, you see, so before or after, and all the languages produce like this. And now when you make a copy of this to transmit it, you imagine that the copy is three-dimensional copy. It is a three-dimensional copy because you cannot make in bidimensional copy. So they are describing like this stupid line like this, okay? So I've told you, that's why there is a logic in my video. I know it, but you must understand it. In the thundercloud, you produce lightning, does not have a coherent frequency like this. They are showing to you like this. Many undulation per second, big waves and small waves, and like this. There is not like this. You see, even when they disconnect the electric current looks like a lightning from a thundercloud. So this is the spark of hertz, and you modulate this. You modulate it. So now you understand that the electromagnetic fields has many tones. If not, it could not copy the voice, because the voice proceeds with different tones, I tones, A, E, O, U. So inside the electromagnetic waves there are similar tones to copy the voice. So there are many tones of light, and this is very important because you cannot pass from A tone to E tone. So if you make a bijective, injective, surjective function, mathematical function, like you copy, duplicate a key between your voice and this transmission of the radio transmissions, okay, the key must be perfect. If not, it will not open the door, okay? So the copy of the light, when copies the modulation, must be identically. So in this sense, the electromagnetic circuit, like this lightning, has a capacity to produce all the tones. But similarly with the sound, you cannot pass from E tone in A tone, U tone in E tone. Ooh, you cannot pass. So this is implying that it has these tones inside the light. They are these tones. and you cannot change one from them because they are different types of flow of emissions. You cannot change. So when they say with that Doppler stuff, what tones become what tone? If you have an electromagnetic tone similar with A tone, like A tone, how this becomes E tone? How? By magic. You are believing because my mouth can produce A tone, E tone, A, E. I change the tone. So the light has these tones, 5 tones, okay? So now they are modulated. So what is the modulation frequency of light, electromagnetic? It is not. It is a constructive wave. They are emitting this thunder lightning like that. And how these guys, who I began to tell you, it is modulating it in a function of time. Because you speak on a function of time. So now you start and you stop now, like in a function of time. So when my voice will hit this microphone, it will imprint a function of time. So the tube of my voice flows in the microphone with a function of time. So you register in a function of time. And the duplicate key is a light duplicate key. Exactly. A light duplicate of your voice. A light duplicate of your voice, and you shoot this light beam that exactly your voice, even in a temporal manner, because you do not emit like a picture, instant pictures or that you spoke, has a temporal manner. So when you register it, you must have a temporal function to copy it. So from T0 to T1, what did you say? You must assign a temporal function in your apparat that you are registering. So the microphone has a way to add a time function. So now when you, let's say you are reading your voice on magnetic tape, like audio tapes from all times, okay? You write your voice is a duplicate, perfect duplicate light key of your voice. Like you duplicate 2 keys, there's exactly your voice to read with light here. Like pictures. And then when they are reading it in a temporal manner. So from A to B. So the packet of the information is from A to B. And you still understand that they do not process anything. They're reading the temporal function, your voice. So the computer does not process how much you are believing. It reads pictures. Even pictures of voice, audio, or pure pictures, eyes picture, in a temporal function manner. So you understand? So there is a mechanism that reads in a temporal way. When you download something, it ascribes, he knows already the time. You will download in 2 hours because there's a written function of time in the computer, okay? So now you must add this to the carrier wave, how this guy says. So you see that I'm no science, I know real science. So I cannot be coherent to show to you all this coherent to you understand that I'm no science. But they are crazy. The Doppler is false. What shifts in my voice when you copy it, you transmit it at this distance? What shifts towards the red? Nothing. The A tone, E tone, U tone, what tone shifts to the red? No tone. No tone, dudes. No tone. They're crazy, okay? So now they are transmitting exactly in lightning. So they short circuit this hertz spark I show to you again. Maybe it's comical for you maybe. But this is real stuff, dude. This is not lies. Like they are lying. So let me tell you like this, but to be a smartass, how they are saying. You see this tensor sine D equals rho times B. It was a shame to put the magnetic because his name was Maxwell, and magnetism is B, magnet. But Maxwell and B, say, so he put B instead of M, maybe to not be proud, maybe, let's say, okay? So this tensor equals 0 always. Okay, so or energy delta B magnetism, so T1 T2 magnetism, you see, with delta T H, what big it is, J plus dt. So he made it, but it's stupid. I'm telling you that they are stupid. If you understood, it is valuable for all the wires, for all the, like gold. I've told you it is electrical, but it is so I don't know where I left. So I showed you again. Maybe you laugh this. Okay, you add your voice in this short circuit like this. You see.
Telefunken was another success story. The Germans demanded the opening up of the airwaves on all frequencies, a goal they achieved at international conferences on the subject.
So now when you speak, your voice copied like in a key flows through a wire in a magnet. You have a magnet with a wires, like this is the microphone. You speak into it, it copies a function of time, your voice, and transmits it with a frequency vibration through the cable. Exactly, your voice flows through electricity. So by the way, my friends, if you say that the blessing does nothing, if you speak into the light copies your voice. So you can bless the table, if you understand. You can bless objects with your voice. You speak into them and your voice imprints in all the objects. So the blessing is true, if you understand. So you copy your voice, you transmit a function through this circuit. So now this electricity is not short circuit at random, like only a spark and that's it. No, this spark, you speak into the wire and the spark modulates how you speak. So now it is making a wireless copy of your voice. So your voice is registered in unseen light, let's say, how they are saying electromagnetic waves. So it propagates through the air and you capture it and then you convert back in sound signal with the same process. You have an antenna and it vibrates like exactly because so what is the electromagnetic carrier wave? It is your voice, but you can put this in some capacity, temporal capacity from T1 T2 temporal capacity. So what is the frequency modulation, like a radio frequency modulation and amplitude modulation from radio, if you know. FM means frequency modulation. You modulate the frequency. And AM amplitude modulation. You have to have a carrier wave that transmits your frequency, your voice. So what is the magnetic spectrum of light? Like it is after the red, where I'm telling you that they are crazy. You put a visible light here, okay, and the radio magnetic waves here, and they are constructed waves. You understand? They're so they are saying that is like a field, these waves, because when they emitted it, they observed that there's maximum range that you can emit it to receive it. So what is she says like a field, football field, stadium, so football field. So they put an antenna and you observe that this is the maximum capacity. So you imagine now that there's waves like this. They're stupid representation. You understood? They're stupid representation. You do not know how the voice is. If you want to understand, when you make a function of time, that T1 to T2 to an object to come from T1 to T2 A to B, you have many waves, path waves in a temporal function. I made 4 possibilities like this. This is a wave. It is a wave. You see, but it's like, and it has the same quantity. I made them the same quantity. If you not believe me, okay? I made them for the video at the same length, but they are different waves. You see, this is a round like, and this is like like with an angle, like a triangles with an angle, and this is like circle, cosinus, sinusoidal. You see, and this is Soiree when they are showing to you like this sinusoidal wave function like this. But how do you know that they are like this? And this is stupid because the voice, it proceeds in all the angles possible, even like this, and you see this from programs that you can make music in them. They represent instantly what you are composing, and you see that there are different types of waves, like this rondo waves. So and they are three-dimensional. So if the light copies your voice, and the voice it is like this, it means that the light has all the angles, possible angles. So what is the frequency? It is run like, and it could have in a unit of time both of them like this. I make this to show you, like in an angle one and like circle, curve one, sinusoidal, cosinusoidal, and they have the same length. Okay, so now you suppose that all of these shapes of geometry, and they are three-dimensional waves, because our voice is three-dimensional, and you cannot copy to transmit radio if you have a three-dimensional wave, because the voice is not a b-dimensional wave like this. This is a stupid representation. It is a three-dimensional wave in a temporal. So T1, from T1 to T2, okay? So different four waves, and it could be like this, even square-like. You see, it could be square-like. They are this modulation. I compose music, and I will show to you a program in which I make music in this video, okay? But afterward, and to see this visualization between sound, and because they execute a copy of light of the sound, okay? So now you understood that light can have tones, and you cannot pass from one to another. You must have A tone, B tone, E tone, E tone, U tone. You understand? So the light has some tones in it. So now you transmit this, you understand, you put it in that spot. That's why I named the previous video how to speak into the lightning, okay? Because this is how the radio proceeds, believe me or not. So watch this to take another pause. You see they are proceeding in engineering manner, and you see that they have tubes, copper tubes. You cannot put your hands on this. You cannot. You must have some money, okay? And then they are lying to you, and you see. Let's watch this guy.
So you mentioned down the line one time that there was an engineer that came down that staircase, walked around the corner, and somewhere around here.
Yes, he saw an elbow, one of these elbows in this area of the previous system, it was replaced since then, was flaring out this blue fire, and scared the heck out of him. It makes a weird noise, it smells different, and it's not probably good to be around very long. But that happened here, and again, that was caused by an accident where the guy pumped in too much of the oxygen at a time, and it was cold. The air's cold, it condensed inside, blew an arc. Safety systems are there to prevent that from going on so long that it would, say, melt down a site.
So after you watch that, you understand what big energy flowed through that. They are not for water. They are tubes that are passing electricity. So when this radio antenna that I've showed to you, 300-meter antenna, takes big voltages of energy, electricity, and they are inserting in them the voice, a copy temporal of your voice, or pictures, or in the case of the video, pictures, and you can make the duplicate form instant because there's live transmission, okay? So there's something that makes real time the copy of the key in a real time, and you can transmit it at a distance. So now all of this form have 300 kilometers per second. But this is wrong somehow. Why? Because if you travel in a straight line like this, like a bullet, like in a straight line, it is 300 kilometers per second. But if you make like this, this is a big space. But if you take mathematically the shortest line, the shortest line, no is like in Romanian, like no. So you have the shortest line from A to B, like this, okay? A straight line, no? But in mathematics, what happens if you go like this and this? You do not have a big space, a much bigger space. So how they say that the speed of light is a constant, 300,000 kilometers per second? Because if you have a simple triangle from here to here, this line will be with 300 kilometers per second, okay? But the light goes like this and it goes like this. It's like crazy. It changes the direction in movement. But why? So it vibrates like this. So now they are saying that it has this phenomenon have 300,000 kilometers per second. But if you have this, that guy says the radio waves have like a stadium, American football stadium long, or 100 meter long. You understand that in 100 meter, if the light is like a particle light and goes straight, 300, it matters. Because if it makes like this, it is bigger space, mathematical bigger space. So how come now different types of frequency, geometrical frequency, that so you understand now that the speed of light somehow varies. You understand? So because only in this perfect straight line like this, but I believe that there's no time when light makes like this, even in a laser point or so if you go straight like this, so what I'm telling you, the light is modulated, does not have a way of moving. It is forced to move by atoms, by surrounding. You see, this flower force light to move like this. It changes the frequency. The light is not white. You are tricked. White is a color, and black is a color. You were tricked, and is not in the rainbow. It is not. When you break up the stellar light from a star with a prism, the black must be, and white, because they are color. Look, white color. That's a frequency. So this flower obligates the light that is not white. Is not white is the color, and the light is not black, and we cannot see light. It seems strange for you. If you go outside, you will not see the vibrating air like oxygen, gaseous atmosphere, nitrogen, by illuminating white, because white is a color. And you go outside, you see the sun, and you see flowers and green stuff, and like trees and stuff like this. You understand that you are not seeing the light. You're seeing at a distance. And this is a strange phenomenon. The light comes and is not white into the object, and the object change the modulation frequency, how it wants. And it is not like the stupid, like a diffraction or refraction. So it refracts because only in the glass like this, or refracts and diffracts, like to make a rainbow colors. If you have some tones, you obtain from the stars different rainbows. You do not know this, maybe. Different tones of orange, different tones of red, different tones from each star. You do not know maybe this, because you are believing that blue is blue, green is green. There's not. Green is a tone, and it's infinite tone, infinite frequency in its own way. So what is changed is nothing. They're crazy. I'm telling you that crazy. This is I wanted to tell you that, for you to understand supplementary that the science is crazy. and we do not see the universe. So the light is not white light. It comes here, interacts with this flower in some manner. It is not like a simple diffraction angle. They do not do this correct. It is changing, modulates the beam of light. The beam of light is capable to be modulated. It is modulated and it gives a frequency of color, frequency and a pattern, and it is in light. It is in light because it is very fast. You are understanding that it is in light. So let's say that this is the pattern. How is changed at red? How do you change this red? How you make this? If you go with this of the stars, it becomes red. They're crazy because it will have the same color that has here. You go with a star with it. It will be red. If you have a car and your car is blue and you came with alien ship from the stars, what color will be your car? Blue. If you have a green car, you came with an alien ship from the stars, what color? This is how stupid they are, my friends, if you understand. What color will have your car if your car is red and you come from the stars with your car? So what shifts to the red? They're crazy. I'm telling you that they're crazy. So let's say this modulates, but you do not understand that has a frequency of time. Like it modulates in different periods of the day, different way. Different tones of the light coming from the sun. This flower, it's speaking into the light itself. You understand this phenomenon is wrong understood, maybe because we have this capacity to take pictures. They were tricking this or like this, but this flower modulates from the morning and the sun is appearing and the star is disappearing. This flower modulates the light different ways. So the flower itself has different tones in the course of a day. So what they are discovering, and they are lying to you because we have these things which we are filming ourselves. Everybody has a point, and that's why I've told you how they are how they were making this. There's some sensors, some picture, some if you want this paper like, okay, there's a paper, digital paper that capture a frequency, emits it back like a duplicated key, but they do not know through this what's the frequency, what's this stuff. They do not know. They do not, and clearly they do not know. That is say that changes, red changes. Okay, so now what is this light? This is visible light, microwave, radio wave, infrared, and all of them suppose the electricity how we are producing it. And you do not understand, they were making this to take you money. So they are making how I showed to you these big motors. They're spinning turbines at hydroelectric power plants production. Okay, they do not know what's that stuff. They do not know. They're engineers, stupid. They do not know. They have money and projects from the government. They do not know. And they have big wires. So I'm telling you, maybe you are laughing, but it's just true, okay? They have big wires and make like this with them, big magnets. They put like this and big motors. And with the water capacity to push this engine to produce light. So now they are making a frequency by the speed of the rotation of the turbine. Let's say that the motor spins like 300 times per second like this. The water makes it spin like, let's say, okay, that's the frequency. They are making it like this. So there is no frequency to electromagnetic. So when it flows implicit with that frequency. And then they are lying to you with that electron stuff, like inside this lightning. If you see, I'm showing to you again how they disconnect the power plant. in that lighting they're saying that there's the electron, the smallest piece of electricity. Because they wanted to lie to you, they have a coherent way to take you money, to take money from you. And they make like this. In a field, electromagnetic field, they put like this. Like, I'm not joking, okay? Like this, like this. And this my electromagnetic field spins it. And you have a meter, my friend. So if you spin this 3 times, you give me $3. You spin this 6 times, you give me $6. If you spin, you see, I made this like suspended, and when you flow electricity through it, it spins. The register to take money from you. And then I lie to you that I know the electron. So now you must understand, has this copper wire electrons in it? We do not know at this hour. It seems stupid what I'm telling you, but they are crazy and stupid. They wanted to take money and somehow inferred that they knew what is the smallest piece of electricity. And they do not know, and they do not have coherent equations. They did this in old times, like I've showed to you, with these wirings and these water flows, this big project, governmental project. That's what I got for is from China. But pour concrete in the biggest river that you can find, and you spin some stuff. So, and then they're tricking you that. So there are some pieces that function in electricity somehow, have a frequency of vibration, or they're spinning like this. So you put, when this spins, you put something and like a bell, and it will hit the bell, tick, 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 tick. That's the frequency. And how this is how they were defining it. Okay. So when this is spinning, you suspend this. There are some that they are taking money from you, exactly like this made. When you put them in electromagnetic wires, you make some wire like this, like copper windings, and you make electricity flow to this. It seems stupid to you, but it is true, my friend. This is science, and they are lying with formulas. And I've showed you to them, and I explained to you. They're crazy. Einstein's crazy physics, quantum mechanics, stupid physics, crazy physics, Schrödinger equation, the stupid physics. So you make this copper winding like this, you pass electricity to it, and you suspend like this, let's say a finer steel piece that has like welded, like something welded like this. And you put something like this. And when it spins in that electromagnetic wiring, okay, it spins like this. It hit this 3 times per second, 20 times, 30 times per second. This is how they were defining them, the frequencies and the stuff like this, okay, to take you money. They do not have any means to take you money. So this is meter-like science, engineering-like, but you do not know if you put another piece, it will not flow with the same frequency. You put this piece but made from aluminium with or something else. It is not going to spin in the same field the same way. So the frequency that take money are made in some electronic pieces made by them like this to take money. The meter, invented meter. So the hertz meter and the voltmeter, and they are meters invented by them on some materials. So now it is stupid to say that the iron vibrates at some frequency. It is stupid. In some condition, if you make like this, you see exactly like I had the guitar in my previous video. You have chords from the guitar, and you understand that the iron does not have sound in it. You make to sound. You make, so then you are saying that the iron has some frequency. So what's the frequency of light in iron? Does not have any. You understand? It is constructed to be like this. So where is the electromagnetic function in all the possibility of arrangement iron? So maybe you can make iron to put it in electromagnetic field. You resonate it, and you spit the iron, melted iron, but like with a spray. And when will congeal like glass. And you see through it. We do not know this stuff. And the electricity frequency will be different. So what is the species defined like engineering science? This kind of iron put in this so if you are stupid, maybe you understand, like if you are this strict on this planet, okay? So now you understand what the speed of light. You maintain the speed of light if you want 300,000 kilometers per second there, but if you have frequency in the you have different paths. So you understand that is as a problem. You have the function of light must be from here to here. Then it is not 300,000 kilometers per second. If you have some modulation, it is 300,000 kilometers per second in a range of modulations. So now nobody interdicts to surpass the speed of light. That is crazy stuff. If you speed of an object, a mass object, you can surpass the speed of light. We do not know. So what is the speed of light? If you take some phenomenon that we know, you can register, they were made. Like you transmit a beam, come back, you make a delta T, like in radar. There were different ways to calculate the speed of light. But what if it is programmed to be like this? And this, in this part, I will tell you like this. If you have two points, A and B, all the possibility frequency are infinite. Because are infinite ways of geometrical movements, three-dimensional movement from A point to B point. So now if you want to understand this like in philosophical, mathematical, philosophical manner, if you have a point, you can have all the speeds, possible speed. 100 kilometers per hour, 200 kilometers, 100,000 kilometers, 300,000 kilometers, 400,000 kilometers, bigger than the speed of light. But now they are pretending that from Einstein equations, they are interdict to surpass the speed. But you can theoretically think that you can have from this to this point all the mathematical speeds at infinite. 400,000 kilometers, 500 kilometers per second in different ways, infinite ways of geometrical walks, okay, or how do you course distance. So now the geometry is infinite. You can have some relation like in an angle. This is like a triangle. You compare it to a triangle like this with angles like this, like this. You can have like I've showed you, like this, like they say sinus cosinusoid, like this, okay, like this, and you can have combined that both of them. Sinus cosine, but it is not a wonder why it is a wonder if you are wondering how could be that it is this part is like this and then ondulates like a sinus cosine, because I'll show to you this music stuff. In this passage, if you watch this, you understand. But it is not a wonder. It does like this. You can wonder yourself, but it does like this, and it violates the inertia principle. You understand? If you understand this piece, it violates the inertia principle, because the Newton said. So do you understand? They did not know even frequency and things like this. By the time Newton said that an object that is in straight line motion will keep the motion. So, but then why does like this? Why? And it is programmed by distance to do like this. You know that when you receive it will still jiggle like this, because your antenna will capture the jiggling on a function of time. So it will maintain the jiggling, the jiggling at a distance. Okay, so it violates the principle of inertia. An object in a rectilinear movement will keep the rectilinear movement if other body comes to stop it or something, or in a rest body, this inertia principle. But this violates the inertia principle. Any ondulation like this, because it goes like this, then changes the directions how it wants. So we do not know how it is in this package controlled to change frequency at a distance. So light violates the principle of inertia, if you understand. But it is not a frequency. This is my fight. You make it a frequency, and I explain to you can have infinite geometrical frequency. And you know maybe you are wondering why can you have this, but you can have. You understand this from music. So I showed you this part. I made it on the computer. That I compose music for you to understand. So watch this. So in this part I show to you this program, okay? So there is a representation, copy key in light of the sound. So you see like this. So the light copies the sound. This is only a bidimensional description on your screen. If you see this, a bidimensional, but the sound it is three-dimensional indeed. It is emitted three-dimensional in your hearing pieces. Okay, it's audio output. It is three-dimensional like voice. So but it makes a perfect copy between sound and light. And you can modulate this. You see the same note here. Let's see. And you can modulate it. You here. This is like a wave, you see. And this has another wave in another channel. You see, and you can change it like this. You see? And it sounds different. You see, and it's like a straight angle. You see, and the light changes too. The light representation of the sound. You see, and if you put both of them like this, you see, like this, and it has these angles. It seems to be stupid, but it has this angle, like, and the light also then. And there are many ways to modulate this in many combinations. And on different channels, because a three-dimensional wave. It's a look. So now you imagine that you transmit this light through a ray. This is the idea of the video. So how to speak into the light, part 2. You transmit this light, not the sound, this light, you transmit it through the air like a tube of light that copies identical the sound. And we transmit, you capture it. There's some piece that resonates in this way and make a reverse function and produces the sound. So electricity. But now this is what I wanted to tell you. How this will change. Let's say that a star emits this. A star emits this beam of light. How this red shifts? How? They do not know what it is with them. You do not believe. How will red shift this? And they are comparing indeed with cars that like that stuff. Okay, it is not red shifts. It will break up the sound, the structure. There's no shift nowhere. Okay, there's no shift.
If you understand, I try to explain many ways, okay? You destroy the sound if you shift it. You can modulate in different ways, you see? So, but what does this mean? If you modulate it at this past a billion years, you change the modulation frequency, you see? You see? But like a tone. But it passed a billion years when you modulate it like this. It changed the structure. So there are some changing factors in light, you see, and the light copies it. But again, the light does not have any structure. You do not understand. You make it to be this way. If I change the instrument, like let's say as many instruments, let's put this above the clouds. Let's see. It is the same one. Let's put this double star. It is about stars. Let's see. You see, what is the light wave? The first tube of light, or this one? The same note. This is the same note. You see, I will keeping the same note, and it's a different tube, and it is. Keep in mind that it's a three-dimensional tube. You see, you have here only a bidimensional representation, but in the copy it is in electricity three-dimensional. So what is changed, this tube or the first one? And both of them, how they are changing? Both of them, how they are changing? In what three-dimensional manner? In what three-dimensional manner? What x-y function redshifts? What? So by the bidimensional representation of the waves, they are stupid. You do not understand. They are stupid, and they break up the light through a prism glass. So this is what I wanted to tell you. What shifts? This wave. So shifts a 3D. You cannot take the geometry from light. It always has some frequency in geometry. So this is what I wanted to tell you, okay? That's to make more beautiful this video. I compose music, so I know many waves of how the light and sound are connected, okay?
So after you watch that, you understand that if you have many tones, like A tone, E tone, in light, one it is like, let's say like this, in an angular movement, and one is like a circle-like movement. But you can have both of them at the same time. This is like an accord, like you give the flute and the violin the same time. Let's say that this is the vibration of the violin, this is of the flute, and you superimpose them like in an orchestra, like in symphony. From T1 to T0, the sound is three-dimensional combined, this, and it flows. And you receive it, you take it through the wire, and it has the both functions in the same time. So in the same time flows like this and like this in the same time. So you are wondering why, but it does like this, okay? And we do not know why. It keeps a function of frequency of time. And this is what I'm telling you, that every object modulates it. And it is not like a natural way of modulating to suppose that from atoms, from the Mendeleev atoms, you have hydrogen that modulates the frequency always in this manner. You have oxygen that modulates the frequency and it looks like this. And it is not like this. It is not like this. There are different waves on different interactions in tones, energetic tones, and things like this. So it has different range in different situations. If you are seeing a cloud of hydrogen electroshocked with an energy 300 hertz, let's say, and then you add some nitrogen in it, it is not going to respond the same manner. and they do not do this correctly with all the geometries, all these things. So this is not understanding this. This is how they are lying. So what shifts to the red, my friends? Nothing. And I'm telling you, this is why I wanted to tell you. The stars are cold, close, and small. Smaller than the moon. Millions of stars are smaller than the moon. They are put in clouds. These pictures from the web, James Watt's picture, last picture, you see the stars are put in clouds. And if they have flames, they'll burn and push away the clouds. And they do not move if they have a spin like the planets have, or the sun spins like this. They will spin the clouds. So they are static. They do not have even gravity. They are small. They do not eject the clouds. They are sitting, but they do not know that they are pouring energy from that clouds. Like lightning shows, like light takes energy from a lightning. This manner, the stars are taking real energy from there, but you do not know they are plugged somehow in electromagnetic field. Our galaxy is not a spiral, it is like a sphere, and we cannot see the universe, and the galaxies are simple clouds, small clouds. They do not have the galaxies, they do not have the moon earth distance 1 second with the speed of light. So I'm telling you that you can go across a galaxy in 1 second, because it is this big. What is the dimensions, and they are taking themselves with this universe. We cannot see the universe. We can see only a sphere, and it's surrounded by clouds, like you have clouds of rain clouds. You cannot see the stars. It is surrounded by clouds, and the stars are put like in a fixed memory, 1D with the speed of light memory. And it is electromagnetic field, like in far-away clouds, produce energy, and we go to do it with a ship or the stars. It will take us another day with the speed of that light. So to go through that clouds, they are not containing anymore, and from then on became sort of what they call in universe. And I wanted to tell you this, but you believe that I'm stupid. And for you to understand, I demolished all the science that exists at current day. I discovered this, and nobody listens to me. How you will tell this? Because all the professors, you understand, they are lying the children. Force equal mass time acceleration. It's a false equation even. Only applied in an ideal point, like particles, moving particles. And now let me tell you, the electron is false even. The electron, so you take this energy and you shoot it through a piece. You can shoot it like bullets, like. And this, they're saying that is the electron. That they calculated the energy in an electromagnetic sensor, the minimum energy. But they do not know how it looks, and so this wire does not have any electrons in it. If you are saying that this lightning is electron, electricity is the electron, before you make some movement, does not have electrons in it. But you believe me or not, the science is crazy. The proton electron from the chemistry were invented to make some equation between, you put some solutions and you combine them, and it is not electricity positron electron equations. They are not, like considering the energies per mole and things like this. To calculate the mass, you have the reactant masses, two reactants that you interact to conserve the masses, and you equilibrate the function like this. And they are making this in other way to say, like magnets have northern south pole, to suppose that each atom has this kind of stuff, north and south pole, and they name this electron proton from chemistry, and now has some valences. So if you are saying that if you are understand that when you have a minus electron, minus stator, or a positive ion or a negative ion, it is electromagnetic, responding electromagnetic substance. But you combine soul, you cannot extract energy, electric energy from the reaction. So the combination, electron-proton combination chemistry is made. I'm telling you, the science is crazy. You do not believe me. All the science. So the combination makes to put some equilibrium in the equation to say that they interacting electronic like they don't have electrons or proton like. And now they are believing that this electron proton is from this wire, but this poor wire does not have even electrons in it. Does not have. This is how crazy is this science. You must produce a frequency of energy, of movement, and you make it through electromagnetic movement, a frequency movement. You already move like this, a motor. And then you are interested, what is the smallest piece of an electricity that you can spark like hertz. And in this manner, they believe that they calculate somehow the smallest bullet that you have. And I'm telling you, this is wrong also. They are crazy in deep manner. Big time is this current day science. So has this cable electrons. Protons does not have. You are believing I am crazy, but they are, okay? If you pass energy, electric energy, it flows something like lightning through it. And you observe that this is light and energy. But you do not know what it is. Maybe it is light, charge with electricity, with another aspect that you are saying the electron, okay? But in this manner you understand that is not magnetic charge, but in cable it is. But it is always like in with temperature when you in the fire. So you have light being with temperature, without temperature, because you do not have a temperature in an electromagnetic wave, only in a receiver, in a piece that will resonate, will produce heat resonating at that frequency. So it produces thermal energy. So now you observe light that it is like with electricity. And without electricity, light, because I don't know if you can extract an electric energy from this. You must have some polarization. I'm telling you, solar panel to start from fire, like, okay, that's what I've told you. So in some cases, light is with temperature, in some cases it is not. It is with electricity. Maybe it is the same aspect of light. In some waves, some modulation or frequency modulation, it has an electric energy, like you are saying the electron. Okay, so how do you are making the electron? You must have a source, atomic source, and you shoot electricity through it. Like the TV was the first thing that did like this, or that microwaves and they are making at airports. Okay, they are looking in your bags. They are shooting electricity through a piece that emits. This is alpha rays, gamma rays, but all of them presuppose electricity, how we know it. So you understand that different atoms modulate this electric flow, like this spark or this lightning, modulating this different manner, and different ways of frequency make that this to pass through a material to see inside, like when you hospitals, okay, through the bones, or in your bags, airport, and so frequency do not pass. Some are passing through like some metals, some do not, but always you have some atoms. So the guy who invented the like medical, it had a piece of atom piece. So you have to have atoms to have these beams. You cannot give these beams or this frequency prior to the atoms, and you cannot have the atoms, only both of them. So that's why they're tricking you that somehow atoms came through a radiation, or radiation were before atoms. Because you must have the both realities simultaneous to have these waves. You must have atoms to resonate them, to produce frequencies. And you understand? So both the wave and the atoms must be simultaneous. You cannot give from this wave, combine with this wave copper. You cannot. So this is stupid science that they invented. Hydrogen plus fusion equal iron. Hydrogen plus fusion is carbon. Because they do not know how the elements from the Mendelian appeared. Okay? So so they do not have any procedure to go into Big Bang to decompose matter like in radiation, in craziness, my friends. You understand how crazy is the science, this actual day science? To decompose in radiation and that radiation to compose it in atom. You must have both of the realities. Okay, so the atoms emit different frequency, geometrical patterns. You can have iron and copper maybe to obligate them to emit the same geometry, the same geometry. So you now understand this atomic physics is false. This copper piece does not have protons, electrons that were jiggling. You really believe there's something here? This is a copper piece that is jiggling inside it. It may like this, jiggling. This is so stupid. So you put electric field, it jiggles, it resonates, and it moves. It vibrates in your hand. It's electroshocking. It vibrates, makes like this. But you put electric field in it. So where is the electron? You put in it. You put it in it. Does not have. So what is the relation between energy and mass of this copper piece? By Einstein, equation energy equals mass times c squared. So you put this in a scale, let's say 20 grams, and you multiply by the speed of light to have the energy, electric energy that's in it, because I will pass through it 3 days of energy, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days. It is a time relation. So you believe that you put electricity in equation with this copper mass and you have electricity in it. This is how crazy, stupid they are. So you really believe there's something that jiggles in this space? So there are protons, electrons moving like in orbit, like they invented this, like the whole the reality is empty space. You do not touch the atoms even, only the contact with the electron, the vibration. This is not vibrating, and we do not know what it is at this hour. They are lying, okay? They are putting in a mass scale. The space has these grams, this piece, similar piece, geometrical form, but iron different mass. And this is all the science that they have, and then they are lying to you. So now let me tell you like this. From light they infer everything, because you do not know what light is. They are saying that they are looking at the stars, they know the mass from light. They watching the light, they do not go at the stars. They are looking at the light of the star, they know how far they are, so the distance, the mass, from light. What is the temperature of the star? They are knowing from light. So you watch the light, you know the temperature. If the star, you put a thermometer in it, you know the temperature from light. So you are understanding that, but not understanding what light does. And they made different in laboratory stupid mistakes. If you understand, you take a picture of this flame, has a frequency. You copy the frequency, but the picture has the same temperature, but the frequency you copy it. So you cannot have a between the light emission and frequency. Marie Curie did not receive a Nobel Prize because this was one of the proof that you discover a new atom. Because you can radiate this atom with radiation, and you pretend it is a new atom, but it's copper with radiation. This is how they were making dozens of atoms in Mendeleev are like radiated pieces. You take uranium, the radiates, you put on another piece, you discover a new metal. So Marie Curie said that he discovered, because there was this procedure to identify from the color the atom. They were saying that like you burn gases. The blue is like oxygen when you burn oxygen, or hydrogen. That's why the sky is blue, like oxygen sky, or the water has oxygen. So now they wanted to say that each atom has a color, like. So from the color they even know the composition of the star from distance. But Marie Curie was refused the Nobel Prize because this was demonstrated that you cannot identify through color an atom. And it is clearly only that this is reddish like the copper. It is reddish like. Okay, but okay. But in what conditions? So the light could be programmed. You can have in mathematical manner all the speeds that you can imagine, surpassing the speed of light until the infinite. Okay, an instant, like it tends to zero. To say that from here to here it took almost zero time. So you can imagine from zero time or an infinite speed. This is infinite speed produces t0, t1, zero time, infinite speed. So from here to here in zero time. So now decreasing, like half an infinite is what is. So a speed, big speeds, okay, a big speeds greater than the speed of light. There could be the light itself. The light itself could have maybe surpassing the speed of light. The usual phenomenon that we know or register, like in radar. They took the radar beam and throw it in a tank, a light beam. Throw it in a tank, and the tank, like you have a rubber ball, redirects it towards you, and you make a t0, t1 function delta. Okay, so you know the speed of light in this manner. They was making in different types, but maybe it is only a program function like this, because conceptual, philosophical, mathematical conception, we can conceptualize all the forms, flower forms of movement, all the ways, infinite forms of geometrical ways, they are infinite. So and the speeds could be surpassing the speed of light, but they are pretending that from some equation, from Einstein equation, you cannot surpass it. But this is Einstein kinetic energy, mass time velocity, and I show to you here in a video. If you have a mass 1 kilogram and the speed is c squared, you find out the kinetic energy of impact. So if you have a mass of 1 kilogram and the speed of light, you do not find that this rock could not reach the speed of light. You find out the kinetic energy if you impact a wall. If this rock will have the speed of light, what it will be the kinetic energy or release when you impact a wall. So you can surpass the speed of light, theoretically. This equation does not interdict. It is v, you put any v or a velocity. What do you want? And from Einstein equation, they are pretending that the mass increases. But actually it's false physics. Like if you increase the speed, the mass increases. Like you add something into the mass. But this is false. This is false. Galileo proved that it not depends on mass, but on velocity, the gravity. And you do not understand even this concept, okay? So does not increase the mass. Galileo showed that these masses, different masses, fall the same time, with the same rate of acceleration. So it did not increase in mass dependency when you accelerate the body. You understand? Did not increases the mass, the speed, something else, another reality. So by increasing the speed, you not increase the mass, you increase another reality, the force of the impact, of the kinetic energy. So it charges an energy in it, a release energy, it charges release energy, and this is not going at infinite energy. It is a finite impact and kinetic energy of the speed of light. If you have this body accelerated at the speed of light, you put this in a kinetic energy equation, the mass of this body multiplied by the speed of light, you obtain what is the power of the hitting in a wall. You maybe not break a mountain with this rock at the speed of light. You understand? So that's why I'm telling you the science is wrong. Okay, this body not charges with the movement. The movement charges the movement, and it is a periodical charge like a frequency charge, even with from the pendulum. This is also a charge with a frequency. They made like this with different pendulums like this. So if they observe if this will fall from this distance, and this distance will reach the same time, because this will be charged the movement faster and will reach in the same time. But if you release them in the same time, so the big distance and small distance, but the charge in movement is different, so they are reaching the same way. They are hitting in the same time if you release them in the same time. So the charge, it is a constant relation with time. And it does not go in the mass. This was proved on the moon. They were throwing a hammer and different masses on the moon, so they were reaching on the same time the surface of the moon, because the mass charges, they were, you understand, they were charged the same way because the speed charges, and by releasing the two masses, the hammer and a volt or a hawk feather, he had like a feather, okay, like, and the hammer falls at the same time because does not charge the mass, charges the movement, and by releasing the same time, the movement charges the same time, the movement. So it is a charge in movement, gravity. So in this manner, I've told you that all the science is wrong.